Hey guys, it's noontime. It's time for a nooner video. That's right, it's time for nooner. It's kind of where we just kind of laid back video where we kind of get the comment section going. And what are we going to talk about today? Well, I kind of mentioned this before in some other videos, but I'm going to talk about the collecting toy magazines of the 90s. Now I know they went into the 2000s, but by the 2000s you started getting the internet and the magazines when they did come out, and they came out once a month. By the 2000s, you already knew everything by the time they were coming out because of the internet, because it got easier. And then we had the internet in the 90s, don't get me wrong, but by the 2000s you could share pictures a lot faster and everything, so it became obsolete for these magazines. I can't believe I went to a Barnes & Noble a couple weeks ago and they still had a magazine section. I could not believe it. I was like, they still got a magazine section. Now I'm going to be a little snobby in this video. I've talked about it before. I'll get to it in this one. But my go-to magazines were Tomarts Action Figure News and the other Action Figure News and Toy Review. Those were the two. One of them, I get them mixed up. They came out about I got them the same week. I remember my comic book store would put out new comic books out on Thursdays. They would carry these, and I would be there Wednesday or either very early Thursday before they opened up. It's like, I know you got it. I know your shipments came. Give it to me. And I was pretty good friends with the owner of the comic book store and the guy that helped him out run the store. So they let me come in and buy it a little early. Sometimes they even just give me a copy. Hey, that kind of guy, right? Everybody likes the Junkman, don't they? But I love these magazines. I mean, this was about the only place you could get action figure news back then. There was some websites, news groups, chat rooms and stuff, but man, this is what they had a section in one of, they were both the same kind of. One of them had a price guide. I can't remember which one is it. Probably the Tomarts, because they were famous for doing the price guides, had a monthly price guide. And believe me, this is the price guide people used, at least at toy shows and stuff. And any comic book store I went to trying to buy toys and stuff, this is the price book they use. Action figures more than just toys, I should say. I know you're going to say, what about Toy Fair? They had a price guide. Everyone used it. No, they didn't. We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to Toy Fair bashing in a minute. I know. I'm not like most of you when it comes to that. But Action Figure News, Toy Review, I'm just going to lump those two magazines, the Toy Review and the Digest, together because they're all basically the same. It seemed like they had almost same kind of content. They would have almost the same news. But so they would have different pictures, so I got them both, and every once in a while they have something different. The price guide, get back to the price guide, it would list like Star Wars. It wouldn't get into very detailed or variations, but it would at least, show you price going loose, show you which one, put a little plus or minus next to figures. They would have a whole 2 pages devoted to Star Wars, and then expanded, of course, when Star Wars came out in the 90s, to even more pages. And then you would have just your basic figures in there. And then I remember they added starting lineup. Something I don't really talk about. It's toy line I don't really talk about. Odd, right? Starting lineup. I did have some starting lineups, actually. I got a Chipper Jones somewhere around my house right now. But we won't get into starting lineup. We're talking price toy catalogs. They would always have a feature that would tell you what's out there, what the collectors are hunting for. It would tell you about variations that are out there, exclusives that are out there, just figures on the market watch that's going up in price or going down in price, what you should, have, what you need to, if you've got a figure for investment, which one you need to start trying to get rid of it. I always like that little column because, yeah, people's like, I don't collect action figures for investment. Especially in the 90s when I was really into it. Even if I just collected out of love because I wanted these things, I collected because if it was worth something, I knew I could get that and trade it for something else I'm looking for down the road. And if it's starting to drop in value, I better hurry up and trade that, that Shadow action figure for a Batman animated series figure that I want. So, and then let's get back on to I don't collect for value. I don't collect for value. I got a lot of vintage stuff. If the market dropped tomorrow, I'll say, oh man, that sucks, I guess. But I ain't gonna lie to you, if it's, I put a lot of love, put a lot of time, put a lot of money into collecting the vintage stuff I have. I don't have a huge collection, but I put a lot of time and money and effort into it. And if it goes up in value, and when I pass on, my kids don't want this stuff. They might want it, maybe for sentimental value, they might want some of it. If I can leave something for them that they can turn into cash so they can make life just a little bit easier for a day or two, hey, that's better than it tanking in value. if you ask me. So although I don't collect it for the value, I'm happy when it goes up, trust me. But action figure, I would get the cover of these magazines, like I'm grouping these together, and just looking at that cover, whatever the toy that month was. I love when they put some vintage stuff on the cover, but a lot of times it was like whatever was new and hot. And I can remember in that talkback section, it was a little section about what toys were coming out they didn't have pictures of or was rumored. I can remember reading there about Star Wars. Hasbro has the rights to Star Wars. I can remember that, reading that line. Hasbro gets rights to Star Wars. And at this time, all I had was my vintage, and the Star Wars Bendums was starting to hit, and I was like, oh my God, Star Wars figures are coming back. I remember we were on the internet in a forum or a news group. Everybody said, what are they going to look like? And then there was some people that say, I saw them at a trade show or toy. You know, we didn't see the pictures, but there was some people, I don't know, they might be BSing, said they saw it. They probably never did. But I could not wait. We were on edge to see those figures. And the pictures came out, I don't remember complaining. I know now we're like, oh, they're big and bulky. Was Luke Skywalker? At the time, I was like, I don't care. They're Star Wars. Saw the figures, saw the cars. I was like, I gotta buy them. And I went to toy stores every day till I found those figures. Found them at a Service Merchandise in the summer of 1995. I hope 3PO and Princess Leia was late shipping. But I just love this magazine. I mean, that just kept my fever going. It was a great time. And there was another magazine I don't talk about as much. You guys that watch my videos probably heard me talk about it a few times. And that was one called Toy Shop. Now, this was kind of like a newspaper. You know, it was made out of newspaper-like materials, all black and white. And all this was, I don't think they had any articles in it. They might have had a few articles, but that's not why you bought it. It was a classified ad. And it was probably 50 pages, maybe more, of just ads. Rare stuff. And this is when you could open them up, find carded Star Wars vintage figures for $35. I can remember seeing Empire Strikes Back cards at least for, $40 and thinking, I am not paying $40 for an old figure on card. I want it loose. Ugh, if I knew then what I know now, right? But you go through these ads, you would find rare storage displays, you find rare stuff. Whatever was hot right now would be all over the ads. The Batman figures in the 90s, the new Star Wars figures right when they hit, prototypes of the new Star Wars figures. Everything was in this. If you were collecting figures in the 90s, if you wasn't just buying them, hoping to find them at your local store, you were getting them out of, you were getting them on the internet, on the news groups. Anybody remember those news groups? Maybe some forums where you build a little community there. You might be doing that, but for the most part, you were getting them in Toy Shop magazine. And it was bad because you would see this little black and white ad. It might have a picture of it that you couldn't already see. Usually it was just text, and you have to write a check to this address. Mail the check to this address, or money order. A lot of times they would say money order. So you had to do that. They would get it. They would have to wait till that check cleared. Or if it's money order, they might not have to wait till it clears. But anyway, it would take almost a month before you even got back. You're like, what if these people take my check or my money order and screw me? What am I going to do? Who am I going to complain to, right? Or if it comes back and it's not what they say it is. It was difficult. It was a little exciting. Don't get me wrong, it was a little exciting, that mail coming every day kind of reminds you of being a kid waiting for that free figure you got, that free offer. Like, they come today, they come today, they come today. I can remember I ordered, I traded with a guy from Toy Shop, I believe it was through Toy Shop, for a Luke Skywalker with extended saber, the early bird Luke, and I traded all my villains for Batman animated series line for it. I sent him them, and then I had to wait for that to come. And I can remember it came, but it was COD where I had to sign for it, so I had to go to the post office and pick it up. I had never been so excited in my adult life as I have that day. Sadly, that Luke saber broke, just fell apart one day, just fell apart. So I'm out of that. And that's one figure, rare figure I'll never have again because it's going up. Unless you're Echo Base guy, the guy over at Echo Base Coach, apparently he found one on eBay for like $200. The guy didn't know what he was selling, I guess. That guy is the luckiest SOB I've ever talked to in my life. So like deals and finds just dropping in his lap. I never have any good. I might have like 2 or 3 good stories of finding a deal, but that's about it. This guy every week. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. You ready? Toy Fair. Oh, now I think my buddy Russ. I think he bought Toy Fair. At least if it had a good article or something. He was more into that type of magazine. Now, like I said, I was a action figure toy snob. I was into vintage, and Toy Fair mostly focused on new stuff, so that kind of left me like, I don't really care. They would put these little bubble cartoons, like little cartoon, kind of reminds me of Adult Swim. What was that, Robot Chicken, kind of reminds me of that, and it was always cheesy and corny. Sometimes there was some good ones sometime, but it just, to me personally, it just felt, those two other magazines, the Action Figure News and the Toy Review, they were high class, you know, they were the serious collector magazines, you know, and the Toy Fair was the childish, the, I don't know what you call it, you know, like the, you know, the higher end, and then you had Toy Fair was down here. I don't know why I felt like that. I just always felt like that when I was with Toy Fair. Now, I did buy Wizard. I did like Wizard a lot, and that's who made Toy Fair magazine, was Wizard. I was just like, ooh, too good. I'm too good for that Toy Fair magazine. Because, again, I was being an action figure snob, and honestly, I would buy them from time to time. Price guide, people really didn't use it as much, at least in the toy shows I went to. They always used that that Tomarts magazine, but it had a lot of stuff in that price guide. They really went over everything, and when you do read the article, it was good. It was just, I don't know, it just really felt like I was, again, it was just me probably being a snob, you know, like, you know, you talk to wine snobs, bro, ooh, wine in a box, I don't drink that. So that's how it was. And when I talk bad about Toy Fair sometimes, I say, oh, that's for kids and stuff, and that's mostly just me. I know it's just, but it seems like the people that did read Toy Fair were a little younger. But like my friend Russ, Red is like 5 years younger, so we're not talking really major. We're not talking like 17-year-olds versus 26-year-olds, but we're talking toys here. But like any hobby, you can get carried away, especially when you first get into it, and you're like, oh, I'm an elitist, I'm a snob about it. So I was a snob about it, I ain't gonna lie to you. Where I turned my nose down if I saw somebody sitting around reading Toy Fair, like, they're reading that kitty magazine for toy collectors, yeah, whatever. But anyway, that's a look at the magazines. I really love these magazines. I mean, even when I didn't get them from the comic book store, I remember I had a Books A Million by my house, going there trying to find, like, oh, it's in, the new one's in. It was an exciting time getting those magazines. Couldn't wait to get home, flip through them all. But I don't know about you. Maybe you guys read them, maybe you didn't. At the time, I thought I was probably the only one. I was about the only one I knew in my town that was like, gotta get them, I gotta get them, I gotta get them. I wish I threw a lot on my way. I still probably got a stack, probably about like this, probably 10 magazines, but I wish I kept them all. I did keep them all for a long time, and then I think when I got married and moved out, I was like, what am I keeping these old magazines for? What am I going to need them for? And now I'm like, dang, I just kept those magazines. I probably get some good stuff to make videos on. So I should have kept them. But anyway, that's a look at the toy magazines. Hope you enjoy that. I guess that's it. Let me know in the comments below. Did you read any of these magazines? And tell me how snobby I was about not liking Toy Fair. I was snobby. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching. Thumb up so you like my content. Subscribe to the channel. And we'll talk again soon.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.